ਆਪਦੀ ਯਾਦ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਤਸੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਬੜਾ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਭੋਲੀ ਭਾਲੀਆਂ ਆਤਮਾ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਸੱਚੇ ਦਿਲੋਂ ਜਿਸ ਪਾਸੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਬੜੀ ਲਗਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਸ ਪਾਸੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਹੈ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬੜੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਮਾਤਾ ਪਿਤਾ ਪਾਲ ਵਾਲੇ ਹੈ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਨਮ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਲੀ ਹੈ, ਸਤਸੰਗ ਲਿਆ ਹੈ। और जिस तरह अज डिसिप्लिन शांति बच्चों के सत्संग में बनी हुई है, मैं आशा करता है जो ग्रुप लीडर कोनी ब्राउन बच्चों का सत्संग कर रही है, इस तरह हर रोज़, क्योंकि बच्चों का बेशक मुश्किल होता है डिसिप्लिन सिखाना, पर जो सीख जाते हैं फिर उसी तरह करते हैं। इस तरह बच्चों का सत्संग चलाते रहना है। मैं आशा करता है बच्चों के माता पिता भी जोड़े हैं वो भी इस प्रोग्राम के दौरान पूरा सहयोग दें, बच्चों को अनुशासन में रखन, क्योंकि हर एक का फर्ज है बच्चों को अनुशासन में रखना। तभी ग्रुप लीडर भी अपनी ड्यूटी आसानी न निभा सकेंगे।
I bow down at the feet of Supreme Fathers, Lord Almighty Sound and Fall, who have given us this opportunity to be in their remembrance. You know that I am always very happy to come to the children's satsang because they are very innocent souls, and whatever you ask them to do, they do it with much interest. Once they start doing it, they will do it wholeheartedly and with much interest. So I am very happy that the children's satsang is being done here, and I am very pleased to come here. And I am very grateful to all the dear ones who have arranged for this, especially Connie Brown. She is the group leader and she has arranged for this children's satsang. You know that it is very difficult to teach the discipline to the children, but once you teach them and once the children understand, then they will become disciplined. Even though it is hard, but still it is being done here, and I appreciate the peace, the discipline and the patience of all the children who have come here in the satsang. And I hope that during this program, the children's satsang, this peace, this discipline will be maintained, and the parents are also requested, they should also cooperate with the group leaders, and they should also take active part in keeping their children in the disciplined way, and they should also cooperate in coordinating this children's satsang.
कहानी नाल बच्चों को खास करके लगाव होता है, सुन के खुशी है। आशा करता है रोज दरअसल पढ़ने से बच्चों को कहानी सुनाया करना।
The children love the stories very much and they are very happy when you tell them the story. So I hope that every day dear Russell Perkins will tell a story to the children.
This is a story that Sanchi tells. This is a story that Sanchi tells about an old woman who worshipped an idol, and she worshipped it so much that she got the God who was manifesting through the idol, she thought, to come to her house and visit her. So she expected that he was coming, and she got all dressed up. She prepared food for him, and she waited for him. But he came in the form of an old man, a very poor, tired, hungry old man who came to the door and knocked and said, "Please give me something to eat." She said, "No, I can't. I don't have anything for you. It's only I'm waiting for the God to come and I don't have anything for you." He said, please give me something." She said, no, I have nothing for you." So he went away. She did not know that he was the God to whom she had prayed. He gave her a second chance and he came a second time, this time even more old and more hungry and more lame than the first time. And he again asked her, this time for a cup of tea. She said, "No, I don't have any tea. All the tea I have is being saved for the God. So I have nothing for you. Go away, please." Then when the day ended, and God hadn't come, she thought, she prayed to him, "You promised me you would come. Why didn't you come?" And he said to her, "Oh, I did come. I came in the form of those old men, but you did not care for me." And Sanji always says that if she had known that the God that she worshipped was not in the idol, but in the living human beings, she would have given the bread to the hungry God that came to her and not saved it to the stone idol.
All of you should just remain seated, and you should leave here only after the prasad is being distributed.
जगह बहुत छोटी बच्चों के दर्शन
बहुत अच्छे बच्चों के भजन प्यारे मिठे और कौन इब्राहिम का भी धन्यवाद करते हैं कि जेड़ी इतनी मेहनत करके बच्चों सत्संग विच डिसिपलिन में रखती है, पहला उत्ते धुन ते बिठाउंदी है। असी इहदी मेहनत उभारी हैं। माता पिता का भी कम बनता है, मैं कल भी बोलिया सी, फर्ज बनता है कि बच्चों सत्संग विच आउण वास्ते भी प्रेरण और खुद बच्चों के सत्संग दे विच उही माता पिता आउण जिन्हां दे बच्चे अकेले आके बैठ नहीं सकते, क्योंकि बच्चों के सत्संग दे विच ज़्यादा माता पिता वो ना आउण जिन्हां दे बच्चे खुद आके बैठ सकते हैं।
Very good. The bhajans sung by the children are very good. They are very sweet, very loving. And I am very thankful to dear Connie Brown for working so hard in arranging and doing the seva of the children's satsang. You know that before this, she makes the initiated children's participation, and then she arranges and she organizes the children's satsang. So I appreciate her hard work. And as I had said yesterday, that it becomes the responsibility of the parents also to cooperate with the organizers, and they should also work hard, and they should also inspire the children, encourage them to come and sit in the satsang and maintain the discipline and peace and quiet.
हाँ भाई, हुण तुहानूं रसल परकिंस कहानी सुनाउणगे।
Now Russell Perkins will tell you a story.
This is a story that has been told many times about Rabia, who was a Muslim saint, lived in Arabia many years ago. She lived not long after the Prophet Muhammad, and Master Kripal said she was one of the earliest of the Sufis, which are the great Muslim masters. In the Muslim religion, everyone is supposed to make a pilgrimage to Mecca at least once in their life. Mecca is the holy city of the Muslims and considered by them to be a very holy place. So Rabia set out to make her pilgrimage to Mecca, but on the way, in the middle of the desert, she came to a very badly hurt dog, and she wanted to help him, but she didn't know what to do. But she picked up the dog, carried him in her arms until she came to an oasis where there was a well. And at the well, she found that the bucket that was there, the rope had rotted away so that the bucket was not able to be lowered down into the water. So she took off her outer garments and tied them to the rope, to the bucket, and to the windlass that the bucket was originally attached to, and lowered it, but it was not long enough. So then she took off all the rest of her clothes, tore them up into strips, tied them together, and attached them to the bucket and to the windlass. And still it wasn't low enough. She couldn't get it down near enough to the water. So then she cut her hair off, which had been uncut since birth, tied that to the rope that she had made, and now the bucket was able to reach the water. So she got the bucket full of water. She washed the dog, cleaned up his wounds, took the clothes that she had taken off and used them for bandage. But now what could she do? She was a mess. It was not possible for her to keep going to Mecca. So it is said that God spoke to her and said, I am very pleased with you. As far as I am concerned, you have made your pilgrimage. And then he brought Mecca to her in the middle of the desert. She didn't have to go anywhere. It came to her. And that is the story of Rabia and the dog, and how God is pleased with when we see him in even the humblest of his creatures.
Please stay sitting down while Sanji leaves. Please sit down while Sanji leaves.
ਇੱਧਰ ਉੱਧਰ ਫਿਰਨ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸਤਸੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠਣ। ਵੈਸੇ ਮੈਂ ਆ ਕੇ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਤਸੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਭੋਲੀ ਆਤਮਾ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੈ। ਜੋ ਕੁਛ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਗਲੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਨਿਕਲਦਾ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਆਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਹੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ।
Very good. I hope that instead of running here and there, all the children will come on time and sit in the satsang. I am very happy to come to this satsang every day because you know that children are innocent souls and whatever comes out from their mouth is very pure, very true because it is the voice of their soul.
ਕੌਣ ਬ੍ਰਾਊਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੇ ਦਿਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੜੀ ਇਸ ਦੀ ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸੁਬਾਹ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਧੁੰਨ 'ਤੇ ਬਿਠਾਉਣਾ, ਫਿਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਅਰੇਂਜਮੈਂਟ ਕਰਨਾ, ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਥ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਜੈਸਾ ਹੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ।
Connie Brown is working very hard and I have much respect for her in my heart. In the morning she takes the children and makes them sit for the sound, and then she brings them here and makes the arrangements for the children's satsang. So with the children you have to become like them. So I have much respect and appreciation for all the hard work she is doing.
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਭੋਲੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਨ ਵੀ ਬੜਾ ਚੰਚਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਬੈਠੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਐਸੀ ਉਂਗਲੀ ਲਗਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੈ, ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਉਹ ਕਿਤਨਾ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ।
As the children are innocent, but at the same time their mind is very swift. When they are sitting here, they will play mischief and just touch somebody else in such a way like they may be disturbing others. So just like they are innocent souls, at the same time their mind is also very swift.
ਸੋ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਬੱਚਿਓ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਸਤਸੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਸਿਆਣੇ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਬੈਠਣਾ ਹੈ, ਇੱਧਰ ਉੱਧਰ ਸ਼ਰਾਰਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ। ਮੈਂ ਜਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਬੜਾ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੀ ਕਦਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਹੀ ਰਸਲ ਪਰਕਿੰਸ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਸੁਣਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਸੁਣਾਏਗਾ।
So dear children, when you sit in the satsang, you should be very quiet and very peaceful. You should not play the mischief. You should not go here and there. Just quietly and peacefully you should sit in the satsang. When I see you sitting in the satsang quietly and peacefully, I become very happy. I appreciate that very much. And appreciating your love, Russell Perkins tells you a story every day. Today also he will tell you a story.
This is a story that Master has told many times of about a master and a greedy man. It is said that the master spent the night with somebody and he was walking. And as he began to walk on that day, a greedy man asked him if he could go with him. And Master said yes. In the meantime, the housewife of the home where he had stayed had made him 3 stuffed chapatis for lunch. The stuffed chapatis are very delicious kind of food that is very common in India. So the master took the 3 stuffed chapatis and they went off and they walked for about an hour, and then the master had to do something. So he left everything and the greedy man, and when he came back he noticed that one of the 3 stuffed chapatis was gone. So he said to the greedy man, "Did you eat that 3rd stuffed chapati?" The greedy man said, "No, master, no, I didn't eat it, nope." So the master said, "All right." And they went along for a while and they came to a place where the forest was being burned by a great forest fire. So the greedy man got very scared and he said, "What are we going to do? What's going to happen to us?" And the master said, "Well, it is possible that if we remember the God who made us and who loves us, that he will take care of us. So let us try remembering him." So they did that, and they walked through the forest and the fire didn't touch them. When they got through the other side, the master said, "Well, now, in the name of that God who loved you and made you and saved you from the forest fire, did you eat that 3rd stuffed chapati?" And the greedy man said, "No, master, no. In the name of that God who made me and loved me and saved me from the fire, I did not eat that 3rd stuffed chapati." So the master said, "All right." And they walked along a while more and they came to a place where the river was in flood and there was a tremendous torrent of water, and it looked as though they were going to be drowned. So the greedy man again got very frightened and he said, what's going to happen to us now?" And the master said, "Well, it is possible that if we remember that God who made us and loves us and saved us from the fire, that he may save us from the flood also." So the greedy man did that, and they walked through the flood safely and were not touched. When they got through on the other side, the master said, Now, in the name of that God who made you and loved you and saved you from the fire and the flood, did you eat that third stuffed chapati? And the greedy man said, no, master. In the name of that God, I did not eat that third stuffed chapati. The master said, all right. And he was determined to make the greedy man tell the truth. He knew very well what had happened, but it was very important for the greedy man's spiritual salvation that he tell the master the truth. So he made, using his supernatural power, he took some rocks and turned them into precious stones and gold, and he made 3 piles. And the greedy man got very excited, and the master said, well, this pile is for me, this pile is for you, and this third pile is for whoever ate that third stuffed chapati. And the greedy man said, master, in the name of that God, I swear I did eat that third stuffed chapati. So he got the jewels and the gold, and he also told the truth to the master. And then the master was able to take him up and take care of him.
Please stay sitting down while Sanchi leaves. Please stay sitting down so everybody can see. Please don't run through the hall. Please sit down. Please sit down. Sit down right where you are, please. Satguru Sunida, Jesa Satguru Sunida, Teso Himedita Jera, Vicherianu Melada, Teso Himedita Jera, Vicherianu Melada, Dana Dana Satguru Dana Dana Satguru Mera Jera gajera vicherianu melada kate homero gajera vicherianu melada dana dana satguru mera jera vicherianu melada dana dana satguru mera jera vicherianu melada nanaka satguru tina milaya nanaka satguru tina milaya jinduro pia sanjoga jera vicherianu melada jinduro pia sanjoga jera vicherianu melada dana dana satguru mera
बहुत अच्छी।
Very good.
हाँ भाई, ਇਹ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਭਜਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਤੁਰ ਸੰਜੋਗ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹੀ ਸਤਸੰਗੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਬੱਚੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੈ। ਬਚਪਨ ਤੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੂਹਾਨੀਅਤ ਦੀ ਖੁਰਾਕ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਸੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੋਇਆ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਟੂਰ ਦੇ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਬੱਚੇ ਸਨ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਕਾਫੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ, ਆਪਣਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਬਣਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਔਰ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹ ਪਨੀਰੀ ਪ੍ਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਕਿਰਪਾਲ ਨੇ ਲਾਈ ਹੈ ਸਤਸੰਗੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਭੋਲੀ ਭਾਲੀ ਆਤਮਾ ਦੀ, ਮੈਂ ਆਸ਼ਾ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹਾਂ ਬੜੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਪਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਬਣਾਈ ਰੱਖਣਗੇ, ਪ੍ਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਭਗਤੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੱਗੇ ਰਹਿਣਗੇ।
This is very true what Guru Nanak Sahib has said in this bhajan. Only those in whose fate it is written and only those who are predestined to meet God Almighty are given birth into the Satsangi families. On this tour, I am very happy to see that the children, the young ones who were very young in my last tour, now they have grown up and they are doing a lot of seva, and it pleases me very much. So this is all due to the grace of Lord Almighty Kripal, and I am hoping that the plants which Lord Almighty Kripal has planted, they will grow up, and when these children will grow up, they will do the devotion of God Almighty, they will remain attached to His feet, and in that way they will make their life successful.
ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੌਣੀ ਬਰਾਉਨ ਵੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਤਸੰਗ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਧੰਨਵਾਦੀ ਹਾਂ। ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰਸਲ ਪਰਕਿੰਸ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਸੁਣਾਉਣਗੇ।
Connie Brown has been also doing the seva for the children from the beginning. I am thankful to her also for the seva. Now Russell Perkins will tell you a story.
This is the story of the washerman's daughter, which Sanchi has told many times. Master Kripal also used to tell it, and Master Sawan Singh too. There was a king named Pipa who lived in a city, and he was seeking after God, and he asked people where he could find a master who would show him how to find God. And they told him, well, the only master who is available to you right now, who lives in this place, is a cobbler named Ravidas. And King Pipa was very reluctant to go to Ravidas because Ravidas was a cobbler, which was considered by Hindus in India to be an unclean thing because they worked with the skins of animals to make shoes. And the king was a king, and he was very high caste, considered to be a very important person, and a cobbler was considered to be very unimportant. So he thought, how will it look if I am a king and I go to a cobbler and take him as my master? This is ridiculous. Nonetheless, he wanted to go see him. So one day when everybody in the city was at a fair that was held outside, he went to see Ravidas. And Ravidas was in his hut mending shoes. And when the king came in, Ravidas greeted him and he gave him a drink. And the drink appeared to the king to be the liquid that Ravidas was putting in his mouth and using to make the shoes with. And he was scared to drink it. And so when Ravidas gave him the liquid, instead of drinking it, he pretended to drink it, and in actuality he poured it into the sleeve of his shirt, which was a very big sleeve, and it absorbed the liquid very easily. So when he went home, he thanked Ravidas and bowed to him politely and went away. And when he got home, he took the shirt off and he gave it to his washerman to clean. And the washerman gave it to his daughter, who was 12 years old. Now, in those days, and still in India in some situations, people used to clean stains out of shirts and things by sucking them. And so usually they spit it out. But the washerman's daughter, who was 12, was not very experienced, and she didn't realize that you're supposed to spit it out. So she sucked that stuff out of the shirt that the king had put there, and she swallowed it. And when she swallowed it, she immediately left the body and went into the inner planes. Because what Ravidas had given the king was a very special kind of thing. It was not really a drink at all. It was the nectar from Sachkhand in liquid form, and he was giving it to him to give him a very great gift of grace, because he was pleased that the king had swallowed his pride and come to see him in his hut. This was a very great thing for the king to do. So when the washerman's daughter went into the inner planes, it became obvious to the people around her that she had changed a lot, and they began coming to her and understanding her as a master, even though she was very young. So when the king heard that another saint had come up in his own palace, he went to see her also. And when he came into the room where she was, she got up and greeted him, and he said, "No, I have not come as a king. I have come as a disciple. I am interested in knowing what your secret is." And the washerman's daughter said, "I didn't stand up to greet you as a king, but as a benefactor, because whatever my secret is, it was in your shirt." And when she said that, the king instantly understood what had happened. He realized that Ravidas had given that to him, but that because he had refused it, it had gone to the washerman's daughter. So he thanked her, and he went back to Ravidas and apologized very humbly. And he said, "Can I have a second chance? Can I have it again?" And Ravidas said, "No, you can't have that again, because that was one-time thing, and the washerman's daughter got it. But I will initiate you, I will give you Nam, and if you work hard, you can have it that way." And the king did. He took the initiation, he worked hard, he became known far and wide as a great spiritual king, and he eventually became a master and told this story about himself.
Please remain seated while Sanchi leaves. Please don't get up and move. We will pass out parshad, so it's important that you stay sitting down, please. please don't get up.
Sentaos, por favor.
Please, children, stay in your seat.
बहुत अच्छे
Very good.
ਹਾਂ ਬੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬੜਾ ਪਿਆਰਾ ਭਜਨ ਸੀਗਾ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਬੜਾ ਦਿਲ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕੌਣੀ ਬਰਾਉਨ ਅੱਜ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰਸਲ ਪ੍ਰਕਿੰਸ ਦੇ ਥਾਂ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਸੁਣਾਉਣਗੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਬੜੀ ਪਿਆਰੀ ਔਰ ਮਿੱਠੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਾਉਣਗੇ
The bhajan sung by the children was very loving. I am very pleased to come here to the children's satsang. Today, instead of Russell Perkins, Connie Brown will tell you a story, and I hope that she will also tell you a very loving story.
How do I do this? This story, unfortunately, Russell told my favorite story 2 days ago, but I think I will tell it again, about the traveler who met up with a great saint. And the great saint invited him to walk with him. And before he had left, he had somebody make up 3 chapatis for him, and he put them in his bag. And they traveled on their way, and as they were walking, everything was going fine, and they had to stop to rest. And while the master, the saint, went off, the man that was traveling with him went into his bag and took the chapati. Later on in their journey, they were stopping again to rest and have food, and the great saint noticed that the chapati was not there. So he asked the man, "Did you take this chapati?" And the man said, "No, I did not." Now, of course, the saint knows everything, so he knew that this man had taken the chapati, and he also knew that to save his soul, he must learn to tell the truth. So they traveled on, and they came to a very big river, and the river was very rapid, and the water was flowing greatly, and they got into it in the middle and couldn't get further. And the man said, "Please save me, please, what should we do? We're going to die in this water." And the saint said, "Just remember God. If you remember God, you will be taken care of." And so the man did, and they made it through the water. Their journey went further, and they traveled on, and they came into a forest, and there was a big fire, and the man was sure they would be burned in the fire. And he said to the saint, "Please, please save me. I don't want to die." And the saint said, "Remember God. If you remember God, then you will be saved." And so the man and the saint got through the fire. Now again, after each of these events, the saint asked the man, "Did you take the chapati from my bag?" And of course, he thought that when the man realized how God saved him, he would tell the truth. But none of these things worked. So the saint was determined to save this soul. So he did everything he could, and then in the end, he said, "I must do something to make this man tell the truth." And so he got 3 bags of gold, and there was the saint and the man, and of course a 3rd bag of gold. So he set them out, and he gave them each one, and the 3rd one he said, "This bag of gold will go to whoever took the chapati from my bag." Now this man, of course, saw that 3rd bag of gold and thought, "I guess it's time that I tell the truth, because I really do want that gold." So he said, "Please, please, it is I that took the chapati from the bag. I should get this gold." Now we know that the saints are loving and love us all very much. And so he gave this man the gold. And in that way, he taught him to tell the truth. And that was his goal, is to make sure that the man would tell the truth, because we all know that on the path of the masters, truthfulness is very, very important. And that's the story. Thank you. Prashad. Please don't stand up. Please sit down. Please don't get up. Please don't get out of your seat. Please stay seated. Please stay in your seats, please.
Por favor, permanezcan sentados, por favor.
Karo mana jura sunake benati Dana dana satguru mera chera vicharianu melada Dana dana satguru mera chera vicharianu melada Jesa satguru sunida Jesa satguru sunida Teso hi medita jera vicharianu melada Teso hi medita jera vicharianu melada Dana dana satguru mera chera vicharianu melada Dana dana satguru mera chera vicharianu melada Vichariamele Prabhu Vichariamele Prabhu Hare Darga Kabasita Jera Vicharianu melada Hare Darga Kabasita Jera Vicharianu melada Dana dana satguru mera chera vicharianu melada Dana dana satguru mera chera vicharianu melada Hare Namo Matera de Daida Hare Namo Matera de Daida Kate Homero Gajera Vicharianu melada Kate Homero Gajera Vicharianu melada Dana dana satguru mera chera vicharianu melada Dana dana satguru mera chera vicharianu melada Nanaka satguru tina milaya Nanaka satguru tina milaya Jinduro pia sanjoga jera vicharianu melada Jinduro pia sanjoga jera vicharianu melada Dana dana satguru mera chera vicharianu melada Dana dana satguru mera chera vicharianu melada
बहुत अच्छे
वेरी गुड
हाँ भाई ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਤਸੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਦਾ ਦਿਲ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਬਾਰਿਸ਼ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜਦ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਸਤਸੰਗ 'ਚੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਧਰ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਮੈਂ ਸੋਚ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਲੂਇਸ ਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਧੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਕਾਨ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਲਿਜਾਏਗਾ। ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਘਾਟ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇ ਬਗੈਰ ਚਲਿਆ ਜਾਊਂਗਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਫਰੀਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਗਲੀਆਂ ਚਿੱਕੜ ਦੂਰ ਕਰ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਨਿਉ, ਚੱਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਭਿੱਜੇ ਕੰਬਲੀ ਰਾਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਟੁੱਟੇ ਨਿਉ।
Very good. My heart becomes very happy when I come to the children's satsang. This morning, as you know, it is raining. So when we left the satsang tent, it was still raining very heavy. And I thought that maybe Louis will take the car straight to the house. And if that happens, I was going to miss you a lot. And I was thinking that what will happen if Louis does not take the car to this place and take it straight to the house, because I wanted to come here and see you. Farid Saab had also said that the home of my beloved is very far away, and on the way the road is not very good. It is all muddy and dirty. If I don't go to see my beloved, my devotion is broken. And if I make the attempt to go towards my beloved, it is raining very heavily and I may get drenched.
ਭੀਜੋ ਸੀਜੋ ਕੰਬਲੀ ਅੱਲਾ ਬਰਸਿਓ ਮਿਓ, ਜਾਏ ਮਿਲਾ ਤਨ ਸੱਜਣਾ ਤੇ ਟੁੱਟੇ ਨਾਹੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਨਿਉ।
Further he says that it doesn't matter if I am drenched, it doesn't matter if the road is not so good, but I'll go and see my dear one, I will go and see my beloved. Let God cause all the rain he wants to, but still let me go and maintain my devotion.
ਮੈਂ ਜੋ ਕੌਣ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਅੱਜ ਬਾਰਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਇੰਤਜ਼ਾਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਹੈ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਰੋਜ਼ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਧੰਨਵਾਦੀ ਹਾਂ। ਮੈਂ ਬੜਾ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ।
I'm very thankful to all the dear children who have come here, even though it is raining, and I'm very grateful to Connie Brown that she has made the arrangements for them to come here. I'm very happy to come here and see all the dear children.
ਹਾਂ, ਰਸਲ ਪਰਕਿੰਸ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਸੁਣਾਉਣਗੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਬੜੇ ਖੁਸ਼ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੈ।
Now Russell Perkins will tell you a story, because you know that children are very happy to hear the story.
This is a story of Ravidas, the same Ravidas whom we talked about the other day, who had a disciple who is a king. But Ravidas had two disciples who were royal. One of them was King Pipa, but the other was Princess Mirabai, who later became Queen of Chittor. And Mirabai loved Ravidas very much, and she was very sorry that he was so poor, because Ravidas was a very low caste man and a cobbler, as we said the other day. He didn't have much money, and he lived and worked in his little hut, and he mended the shoes. People brought him their shoes and he would fix them. And she felt very bad about this, so she went to see him one day and she said, "Master, I wish that you could live in a better house and have a better place to work in. In fact, maybe not need to work at all. And I have brought for you a ruby, which if you sell it, you will have millions of dollars and you can do anything you want." He said, "No, I don't want it." She said, "I wish you would take it as an offering from me, Master, because I have a lot of money and it makes me very sad to see you so poor." He said, "No, I don't want it." She said, "Please, Master, take it for my sake, please." He said, "All right, you can leave it over there if you like." And she left it in a crack in the wall where there was a little space. And she went away, and 6-7 months later, she was able to come back and see him again, and she saw that he was still in the same hut, still living exactly the same way, had no more money at all. And she said, "Master, what did you do with that ruby I left you? Why are you not in better condition?" And he said, Well, I don't know. It might be where you left it. And she looked in the crack in the wall, and there was that same ruby worth millions of dollars that she had left 6 months before. So Mirabai was given a very hard time by her family and her friends, her religious advisors, the clergy people, swamis, etc., all hated the fact that she was a princess of royal blood, as she had taken a master who was a cobbler. And they gave her a very hard time, and they first tried to talk her out of going to see him, and then they tried to prevent her forcibly from going to see him. And finally, when she still kept on seeing Ravidas and did her devotion and refused to be pushed around, they began to try to kill her, because they thought it was better to have her dead than to bring disgrace on the kingdom and the family. So they sent her a poisonous snake in the middle of a bunch of flowers. They poisoned her food. And in all that, she was very brave and very calm, and she kept her connection with the Master. She did the Simran, and she was not affected. Nothing hurt her. And finally, she spoke to Ravidas about maybe if they knew you, maybe if they could meet you, they would like you better. He said, all right, you can do whatever you like. So she arranged a big banquet in Ravidas's honor, and she invited all the royal people and all the swamis and the main important religious people, all the people who were giving her a hard time, and her family and everyone. And none of them wanted to come. But finally they agreed they would come if Ravidas would stay by himself over in one corner, because they didn't want to associate with such a low-class man. So Ravidas said, whatever they want, it's all right, tell them. So she agreed, and they came, and then at every table they found that Ravidas was sitting there. He made hundreds of forms of himself, and every single pundit, every single prince, every single royal person that hated the idea of being with him found that he was sitting there at the same table with them. They could not escape it. Everywhere they went, there was Ravidas. So in that way, he showed the power of the Satguru. And Mirabai kept on going, and although she became a queen when she became an adult, she also became a master, and she is very well known in India. Her hymns are sung everywhere, and Master Kripal Singh very often used to comment on her hymns.
Please don't get up while Sanchi leaves. Let's watch him as he goes. Please help the children not to run in the hall to get to Sanchi. Please help them to sit if you're sitting near them. We will have Parshad after Sanchi leaves the hall, so it's important that you stay sitting in your place if you want to get the Parshad. We will have Parshad after Sanchi leaves the hall, so it's important that you stay sitting in your place if you want to get the Parshad. Please don't get up. Please sit down. Please sit down while Sanchi leaves the hall.
no se lo sitio, por favor, no te pases frente a mí.
ਪ੍ਰਭਾਤ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਪਰਮ ਪਿਤਾ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਸਾਵਣ ਦੇ ਜਨਮ ਦਿਨ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧਾਈ।
Good morning to all the dear children.
hearty felicitations to all the dear children on the occasion of Almighty Lord Sant Singh's birthday.
हाँ भाई, मैं हर रोज ਤੁਹਾਡੇ पास आके बहुत प्यार प्राप्त करता रहा है। मैनू आके बड़ी खुशी रही है। मैं आशा करता है इसी तरह प्यारे बच्चों ने जिथे जिथे भी सत्संग है जाना है और जो इतने दिन कौनी ब्राउन ने बच्चों के सत्संग का इंतजाम किया है। मेरे ये सेवा दिल ते लिखी है, बड़ी उच्ची सेवा है क्योंकि बच्चों को कंट्रोल करना, बच्चों के दिल अंदर भजन बोलने का शौक पैदा करना, ये काफ़ी मेहनत का काम होता है। असी ये भी धन्यवादी हैं।
I had been receiving a lot of love from all of you dear children, and every day I was very happy to come here and attend your satsang. I hope that now when you will go to your homes, whichever satsang you attend, you will attend the children's satsang also, and you will maintain the love and devotion which you have gained from here. I am very grateful to all of you for maintaining the discipline and coming to this children's satsang, and I am equally thankful to Connie Brown, who has been working very hard in this last week. She has done a lot of seva, controlling the children, making the children be in the discipline, because you know that it is very hard to control the kids and keep them in the discipline. So the seva which she has done is written on my heart, and I appreciate that very much, and I hope that she will continue doing this seva and the children will also continue attending the children's satsang.
हाँ भाई, रसल परकिंस भी जो रोज बच्चों को कहानी सुनाता रहा है, अज भी सुनाउणगे। मैं इन्हां दा भी धन्यवादी हां।
I am also thankful to Russell Perkins, who have been telling you a story every day. I hope that today also he will tell you a story.
Today is, as Master just said, today is Sant Singh's birthday. So I want to tell a few stories about great Master Sant Singh, who lived a very long time and who is really responsible for the work here and everything that has been happening the past week, as well as everything else, because it was he whose beloved disciple Kripal Singh came here in the first place 30-odd years ago, and also through him the power continued to go into Sanchi and to sit in front of us now. When Baba Sant Singh was a young man, before he was initiated, he was still a very wise and spiritual person, and it is said that he was living in the Mari Hills, which is a part of India in the Himalaya mountains, a very beautiful part of India. Very can get cold in winter and snows there. And there was an atheist, a person who didn't believe in God, who came to that place because he suffered from tuberculosis, which is a disease of the lung, which is very painful, and eventually you die from it. And the climate, the weather was considered good for that, so the doctor sent him there, and he was trying to find a room. But the word had gone out that he was an atheist, so nobody wanted to rent to him. They were also afraid of his disease because it was contagious. And so he was turned away from every house. And he also came to Sant Singh's house, but Sant Singh wasn't home. So the housekeeper that he had been assigned, because he was in the army at the time, the housekeeper that he had been assigned to him in the building, turned the man away. But just as he was leaving, Master Sant Singh came around the corner and saw that man was going, and he asked the housekeeper what was going on. And the housekeeper said, well, he wanted a room, but I wouldn't rent him one. Master Sant Singh said, why not? He said, because he was an atheist, and also because I don't like to have someone with tuberculosis around. And Master Sant Singh said, just because he doesn't know that God resides within him, we know it, don't we? Please give him a room. And the man did, and he stayed there in that house. just a little while after that, Master Sant Singh met his master, who was Baba Jaimal Singh, who came to the Murray Hills to do satsang, have a retreat, just like the master has come here for the last few days. And he was walking with a disciple of his named Bibi Ruko, and they walked down the street where Sant Singh was coming the other way. Sant Singh didn't notice Baba Jaimal Singh at all. He saw him, but he thought he's just an old man coming here. He paid no attention to him, and as they passed, Baba Jaimal Singh said to Bibi Ruko, "We have come here for this man. This is the one we have come for." And she said to him, "Hi, but he didn't even notice you. He hasn't even paid any attention to you." And Baba Jaimal Singh said, "That's all right. On the 4th day from now, he will come." And that's the way it happened. He did come in 4 days. He heard about Baba Jaimal Singh giving satsang, and he was very curious, and he finally went to it, and then became very much excited. He asked him many, many questions, and Baba Jaimal Singh told him to read the book, The Ocean of Love, which he did do, and then got initiated. And as Baba Sant Singh's mission became very large, many people opposed him. People in India who did not like to have a living master around, who liked the idea of only the ones who are already come and gone. People in the Sikh religion would set up meetings in tents next to his and broadcast propaganda against him and tell people not to go see him because he was bad. And then, because they were out in the desert place, no provisions had been made, and they needed to eat. So Baba Sant Singh insisted that they would be fed also. And he said, "All right, you do propaganda against me, and then you come here and eat." And so they did. And one final story, Master Kripal Singh used to tell that when he was a young disciple of Baba Sant Singh, one time these same Akalis came to him and demanded to be fed at a very weird time when there was no food in the kitchen, nothing being prepared. They said they were hungry and they wanted to eat. And Master Kripal Singh didn't know what to do. He went to the kitchen and got people to try to get the stoves going and so forth. There was one basket with a few chapatis in it, and as he was giving orders to light the stoves, Baba Sant Singh came in and said, "Kripal Singh, what are you doing? Why don't you feed these people?" And Master Kripal Singh said, "But there isn't any food." And Baba Sant Singh said, "Kripal Singh, take up that basket and feed them. There are chapatis in there, give them to them." There were about 500 people, and there were about 3 chapatis in the basket, but he covered the basket and kept giving them chapatis out of it, and everyone was fed. It was like a miracle.
Please sit down while Sanchi leaves. Please stay sitting down. I need all the adults to help with this, please. If you see children getting up, have them sit down. Please don't reach out at Sanchi too far because he needs space to walk. Please. Please don't get up while he's leaving. Sit down, please. Please don't reach out at Sanchi too far because he needs space to walk. Please. Please don't get up while he's leaving. Sit down, please. Please stay sitting down.
ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਬੜੇ ਉੱਤੋਂ ਦੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ